Resuming debate, reprise de débat, the honourable member from Vaughan Woodbridge.
I would like to start, honourable members, I'd like to start by thanking you for the opportunity to take part in this important discussion regarding Canada's refocused approach to the situation in Iraq and Syria. As we debate our future involvement, I'd like to take a step back for the moment from the military operation itself and thank the brave men and women of the Canadian Armed Forces for all they do. Madam Speaker, these courageous individuals put their lives on hold, leave their families behind, and risk everything. Madam Speaker, they make these sacrifices so we can enjoy the peace, security, and freedom we too often take for granted. And they do all of this with honor, professionalism, and humility. There are countless examples of individuals who have defended Canadian values at home and abroad throughout our proud history. In fact, as we stand here today discussing Canada's future involvement in Iraq, we should remember that for our Canadian Armed Forces members, this debate is about so much more than words. They are out there now helping to keep us safe, protecting our way of life, and promoting a Canadian vision of a more peaceful world, a more tolerant world. They are serving in Iraq and on many other international missions. Madam Speaker, they are serving here at home and on daily operations protecting our airspace and maritime approaches with NORAD. These people deserve our thanks and support. They deserve to know that we stand behind them always. They deserve to know that we recognize their sacrifice. And there are many ways in which to do this. I realize that some of these may not seem like much, but as you know, it is often the little things which mean the most. Quite possibly the easiest way to show gratitude to our troops is by taking a moment to post a message on the online message board, which can be found on the forces.gc.ca webpage. Not only is this easy to do, it's free. And it's something that can be done as a group project, whether together as a family or in the classroom. You can also buy a variety of official Support Our Troops merchandise from a mechanic store in your community or from their online site. All proceeds from the sales of Support Our Troops items are in turn reinvested directly into morale and welfare programs for members and their families. This is a very important initiative, Madam Speaker. You can also donate directly to military family resource centres. These centres, which are located on bases across the country, provide support to the families of CAF members who are dealing with the challenges of military life. For those of us who are looking for other ways to contribute financially, there are many programs available under the Support Our Troops banner. I'll mention just a few. Firstly, the Military Families Fund provides support to military families who are experiencing urgent and extraordinary financial demands. They also offer rehabilitation, education, and financial assistance to families of military members who have experienced injuries or death due to their service. The Soldier On Fund supports ill and injured military personnel with a permanent or chronic disability. This fund helps both still serving and retired members and their families maintain an active and healthy lifestyle. Furthermore, the Hospital Comforts Fund provides for the care and comfort of Canadian Armed Forces members confined to a hospital from injury, illness, accident, or surgery. Madam Speaker, and then there is Boomer's Legacy. This program was created in honor of Corporal Andrew Boomer Alkaboom, a dedicated soldier and a Canadian Forces medic who was killed in Afghanistan in 2006. The mission of Boomer's Legacy is helping our soldiers help others. The program honors Boomer's humanitarian spirit resources so that members of the Canadian Armed Forces who are serving on deployments around the world can help those most affected by war and poverty. It places a particular emphasis on providing healthcare and education services for women and children and the most vulnerable. As Canadians, we are known for our generosity and strong social programs, and it should be no different when it comes to supporting our military members and their families. The men and women who work for these programs would be grateful for any contribution. Madam Speaker, we owe a lot to our military members, and I think it's only fitting as we look at the way forward that we remember that they are the essential piece in all of this. The success of the Canadian contribution to this military mission ultimately depends on the people who carry it out, and we ought to take the time to recognize this in whichever way we can. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Well, Questions and comments? Questions et commentaires? The Honourable Member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I've been asking government members throughout this debate if they'd be willing to use the word genocide to describe the violence against religious minorities committed by Daesh. Simple question. Of course, we agree that it's terrible what's happening, but is the government willing to identify that what's happening, what's being done by Daesh, is genocide? Are they willing to use that word?
The Honourable Member from Vaughan Woodbridge.
I thank my honourable colleague for his question. Madam Speaker, my riding of Vaughan Woodbridge encompasses a very large Iraqi Christian community and Kurdish community. I'm all too familiar with the ongoings and what has occurred in that region over the last several years. And I've spoken and I've reached out to many members of the community and recognize what has gone on there. And it's very important that we as a government maintain our presence in the region, which we are doing. And we are putting excellent and heavy emphasis on humanitarian aid for the region. It's over $1 billion over 3 years to help those most impacted by what is going on there and what Daesh or ISIS is doing. Thank you.
Questions and comments? Questions et commentaires, l'Honourable.
The Honourable Member for Sherwood.